Welcome to Italy, a boot-shaped peninsula stretching out into the blue Mediterranean Sea, where ancient cobblestones whisper tales of emperors and artists, where every street corner hides a masterpiece, and where the aroma of fresh pasta mingles with the scent of blooming jasmine. Italy is more than a destination. It's a living museum where history meets modernity, creating wonders that touch your soul. From the eternal grandeur of Rome to the floating poetry of Venice, from the Renaissance brilliance of Florence to the industrial elegance of Milan, we'll explore landscapes that have inspired countless poets, artists, and dreamers. Each city we visit today tells a unique chapter in the grand story of human civilization, geography that ranges from rolling Tuscan hills to dramatic coastal cliffs, and cultural treasures that have shaped the very essence of Western civilization. The Alps guard the north, like ancient sentinels, while the Mediterranean caresses the southern shores. Between these natural boundaries lies a tapestry of regions, each with its own dialect, cuisine, and character. From the volcanic drama of the south to the lake-dotted landscapes of the north, Italy's geography is as diverse as it is breathtaking. But here's a question that might surprise you. What if I told you that the secret to truly understanding Italy isn't just about seeing its famous landmarks, but about discovering how each city reflects a different aspect of the human experience? Which of these 7 cities do you think holds the key to understanding your own journey through life? Ready to embark on this adventure? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible destinations and check out the links in our description below for exclusive deals on flights and accommodations that'll make your Italian dreams a reality. Rome. Rome sprawls across 7 legendary hills in the heart of central Italy, where the Tiber River meanders through the Lazio region like a silver ribbon, connecting past and present. Located approximately 25 kilometers from the Mediterranean coast, this magnificent city sits at the perfect crossroads of ancient trade routes, making it the natural capital of both an empire and a modern nation. The city's strategic position in the Italian peninsula has blessed it with a Mediterranean climate that bathes its ancient stones in golden light year-round. Rolling hills dotted with umbrella pines create a backdrop that seems painted by the gods themselves, while the nearby Alban Hills provide a dramatic silhouette that has inspired artists for centuries. Rome's culture is a magnificent paradox, deeply rooted in ancient traditions, yet vibrantly alive in the modern world. Here, you'll witness La Dolce Vita in its purest form, where Romans gather in piazzas at sunset, engaged in animated conversations that have echoed through these same squares for 2 millennia. The city's soul reveals itself in its rituals: the evening passeggiata, leisurely stroll, the sacred midday riposo, rest, and the art of savoring life's simple pleasures. Roman culture embraces the concept of tempo giusto, the right time for everything. Meals are celebrations, not mere sustenance. Coffee is an art form, never rushed. This cultural wisdom teaches us that life's greatest treasures aren't found in speed, but in the quality of each moment. Rome's story begins in 753 BC, when, according to legend, Romulus founded the city on the Palatine Hill. But the real magic happened as this small settlement grew into the heart of an empire that would span 3 continents. The Roman Republic emerged, followed by the empire that gave us architectural marvels, legal systems, and cultural innovations that still influence our world today. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD didn't end Rome's importance. It transformed it. The city became the spiritual capital of Christianity, home to the Pope and the Vatican. The Renaissance breathed new life into Rome, as artists like Michelangelo and Bernini created masterpieces that still take our breath away. The Colosseum stands as Rome's most iconic symbol, where gladiators once fought for glory and freedom. This architectural marvel, capable of holding 50,000 spectators, reminds us that human ambition knows no bounds. Walking through its corridors, you can almost hear the roar of ancient crowds and feel the weight of history in every stone. The Roman Forum, once the bustling heart of the ancient world, now lies in magnificent ruins that speak more eloquently than any book. Here, senators debated, merchants traded, and ordinary citizens lived their daily lives in the shadow of temples and basilicas. Pantheon, with its revolutionary dome and oculus open to the sky, represents the pinnacle of Roman engineering. For nearly 2,000 years, it has stood as a testament to human ingenuity and spiritual aspiration. Vatican City, the world's smallest country, houses treasures beyond imagination. The Sistine Chapel, with Michelangelo's ceiling frescoes and St. Peter's Basilica, crowned by the master's magnificent dome, represent the height of Renaissance art and spirituality. Rome. Thus that true greatness lies not in conquering the world, but in creating something eternal that enriches humanity. Its layers of history remind us that every ending is also a beginning, and that the most powerful empires are built not just on military might, but on ideas, culture, and the human spirit. Florence. Florence nestles in the heart of Tuscany like a precious gem in a velvet box, surrounded by rolling hills, covered in olive groves and vineyards that stretch to the horizon. The Arno River flows through the city center, creating reflections that have inspired artists for centuries. This strategic location in the fertile Arno Valley made Florence a natural hub for trade and culture. The city sits in a basin, surrounded by gentle hills that provide natural protection while creating a microclimate perfect for both human habitation and artistic inspiration. The nearby Chianti Hills, with their cypress-lined roads and medieval villages, form a backdrop that seems designed by a divine artist with an eye for perfection. Florence gave birth to the Renaissance, that extraordinary period when humanity rediscovered the beauty of classical antiquity and merged it with Christian spirituality to create something entirely new. This cultural revolution wasn't just about art, it was about a new way of seeing humanity's place in the universe. Florentine culture celebrates the concept of bella figura, the importance of making a beautiful impression, not through vanity, but through dignity, style, and appreciation for beauty in all its forms. Here, artisans still work with techniques passed down through generations, creating leather goods, jewelry, and textiles that are works of art in themselves. The city's intellectual tradition, rooted in the patronage of the Medici family, created an environment where artists, philosophers, and scientists could flourish. This culture of supporting creativity and innovation offers us a timeless lesson about the importance of investing in human potential. Florence's rise began in the 11th century, when it became a major trading center, its gold florin becoming the standard currency across Europe. The city's wealth attracted the Medici family, who became not just bankers but patrons of the arts on an unprecedented scale. Their support enabled artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Botticelli to create masterpieces that still move us to tears. The Republic of Florence was a hotbed of political innovation, experimenting with democratic ideals centuries before they became widespread. The city's conflicts and triumphs shaped not just Italian history, but the entire development of Western civilization. During the Renaissance, Florence became the Athens of the Renaissance, a place where art, science, and philosophy converged to create a new understanding of human potential. The city's workshops became laboratories of creativity, where apprentices learned not just techniques, but ways of seeing the world. The Uffizi Gallery houses the world's most important collection of Renaissance art, where Botticelli's Birth of Venus and countless other masterpieces await your discovery. Walking through its corridors is like taking a journey through the evolution of human artistic expression. The Ponte Vecchio, with its jewelry shops built right into the bridge structure, has spanned the Arno River since 1345. This architectural marvel survived World War II and continues to symbolize Florence's ability to blend commerce with beauty. The Duomo, with Brunelleschi's revolutionary dome, dominates the city's skyline and represents one of the greatest architectural achievements of the Renaissance. The challenge of building this dome without Gothic flying buttresses led to innovations that changed architecture forever. Michelangelo's David, housed in the Accademia Gallery, stands as perhaps the most famous sculpture in the world. This marble giant represents not just artistic mastery, but the Renaissance ideal of human potential and divine beauty. Florence asks that true wealth lies not in accumulating riches, but in creating beauty and supporting human creativity. The city reminds us that art isn't a luxury, it's essential to the human spirit, and that the greatest legacy we can leave is not what we build for ourselves, but what we create for future generations to enjoy and learn from. Bologna. Bologna sits at the crossroads of northern and southern Italy, nestled in the fertile Po Valley at the foot of the Apennine Mountains. This strategic location made it a natural meeting point for travelers, traders, and scholars throughout history. The city's position on the ancient Via Aemilia, the Roman road that connected the Adriatic coast to the rest of Italy, established its importance as a center of communication and exchange. The surrounding Emilia-Romagna region, with its rich agricultural lands, has blessed Bologna with some of Italy's finest ingredients. The nearby hills provide perfect conditions for producing Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, while the plains yield the wheat for fresh pasta and the pork for the region's famous prosciutto. Bologna earned its nickname La Dotta, the learned, as home to Europe's oldest university, founded in 1088. This institution created a culture of intellectual curiosity and debate that permeates the city to this day. The tradition of student life, with its vibrant energy and constant questioning, has shaped Bologna's character for nearly a millennium. But Bologna is equally famous as La Grassa, the fat, a playful reference to its incredible culinary tradition. Here, food isn't just sustenance, it's an art form, a way of bringing people together and an expression of love. The city's covered markets, traditional trattorias, and the ritual of the aperitivo create a food culture that nourishes both body and soul. The combination of intellectual rigor and culinary excellence creates a unique atmosphere where deep conversations flow as freely as good wine, and where the pursuit of knowledge is as important as the perfect plate of tagliatelle al ragù. Bologna's history as Bononia began with the Romans, who recognized its strategic importance and built their settlement at the intersection of major trade routes. The city's medieval prosperity came from its position as a free commune, independent enough to develop its own character while remaining connected to the wider world. The founding of the university in 1088 marked a turning point not just for Bologna, but for all of Europe. This institution pioneered the study of law, medicine, and philosophy, attracting students from across the continent and creating the model for universities that we still follow today. Throughout the Renaissance and beyond, Bologna maintained its reputation as a center of learning, while also becoming famous for its silk production and craftsmanship. The city's ability to balance intellectual pursuits with practical skills created a model of education that valued both theoretical knowledge and hands-on experience. The two towers, Asinelli and Garisenda, stand as medieval Manhattan, remnants of the more than 100 towers that once dominated Bologna's skyline. These structures, built by competing noble families, remind us that human ambition has always reached toward the heavens, even in the Middle Ages. The porticos of Bologna, recently recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stretch for over 40 kilometers through the city. These covered walkways create a unique urban environment where public and private spaces blend seamlessly, allowing life to continue in all weather, while creating intimate spaces for conversation and commerce. The Basilica of San Petronio, with its distinctive red brick facade, houses astronomical instruments and sundials that demonstrate Bologna's contribution to scientific advancement. The unfinished facade reminds us that some of humanity's greatest achievements remain works in progress. The Quadrilatero, Bologna's ancient market district, continues to function as it has for centuries. Here, traditional food vendors sell mortadella, fresh pasta, and local specialties in narrow streets that have echoed with the voices of merchants for over 1,000 years. Bologna is that the best education combines intellectual rigor with practical wisdom, and that true knowledge is meant to be shared around a table with friends. The city reminds us that learning never stops, that curiosity is the most important ingredient in any recipe for life, and that some of our greatest discoveries happen when we combine different traditions and perspectives. Milan. Milan commands the Lombardy Plain in northern Italy, positioned perfectly between the Alps and the Po River. This strategic location made it a natural crossroads for trade between northern Europe and the Mediterranean, contributing to its development as Italy's economic powerhouse. The city's proximity to Switzerland and France, combined with its access to alpine passes, established Milan as a gateway between Italy and the rest of Europe. The surrounding Lombardy region, with its efficient transportation networks and proximity to hydroelectric power from the Alps, created ideal conditions for industrial development. The fertile plains support agriculture, while the nearby lakes provide both natural beauty and recreational opportunities that enhance the quality of life. Milan's culture revolves around the concept of faire bella figura, making a beautiful impression through style, efficiency, and excellence. This isn't superficial vanity, but a deep appreciation for craftsmanship, innovation, and the pursuit of perfection in all endeavors. The city's fashion culture emerged from centuries of silk production and textile craftsmanship, evolving into a global center of design and luxury. Milan's fashion weeks set global trends, but the real magic happens in the ateliers and workshops where skilled artisans transform raw materials into works of art. Milan's history began as Mediolanum, a Roman city that became the capital of the Western Roman Empire under Emperor Diocletian. The Edict of Milan in 313 AD granted religious tolerance throughout the empire, making the city a crucial turning point in Christian history. During the medieval period, Milan became a powerful city-state, competing with Venice and Florence for dominance in northern Italy. The construction of the Duomo, beginning in 1386, symbolized the city's ambition and artistic aspirations, creating a Gothic masterpiece that took nearly 6 centuries to complete. The Industrial Revolution transformed Milan into Italy's economic capital, with textile manufacturing, machinery production, and financial services driving unprecedented growth. The city's ability to adapt and innovate while maintaining its cultural identity demonstrates the resilience that defines modern Milan. The Duomo stands as one of the world's most spectacular Gothic cathedrals, its elaborate spires and flying buttresses creating a stone forest that reaches toward heaven. The cathedral's rooftop terraces offer breathtaking views of the city and the Alps beyond, while the interior houses centuries of artistic treasures. La Scala, perhaps the world's most famous opera house, has witnessed premieres of works by Verdi, Puccini, and other masters. The theater's perfect acoustics and sumptuous interior create an atmosphere where music transcends mere entertainment to become spiritual experience. The Quadrilatero della Moda, Milan's fashion quadrilateral, houses the world's most prestigious fashion houses in streets that have become pilgrimage sites for style enthusiasts. Via Monte Napoleone, Via della Spiga, and surrounding streets showcase Italian craftsmanship at its finest. The Brera district combines art galleries, boutiques, and cafes in narrow cobblestone streets that feel like an intimate village within the bustling metropolis. The Pinacoteca di Brera houses masterpieces by Caravaggio, Raphael, and other masters in a setting that celebrates Milan's artistic heritage. Milan asks that true style isn't about following trends, but about developing your own sense of excellence and expressing it with confidence. The city reminds us that success comes from combining tradition with innovation, that hard work and beauty aren't opposites, but partners, and that the most elegant solution is often the most efficient one. Venice. Venice rises from the Adriatic Sea like a mirage, built on more than 100 small islands in a lagoon that has been both protector and challenge throughout the city's history. This unique location, separated from the mainland by the Venetian lagoon, created a natural fortress that allowed Venice to develop its own distinct character and maritime empire. The city's relationship with water defines every aspect of its existence. The tides that flood and recede twice daily, the network of canals that serve as streets, and the constant presence of the sea create an environment unlike anywhere else on Earth. The lagoon's ecosystem, with its salt marshes and tidal patterns, supports unique wildlife and creates ever-changing patterns of light and reflection. Venetian culture developed around the sea, creating a unique blend of Eastern and Western influences that reflected the city's role as a bridge between Europe and the Byzantine Empire. The culture of the Calli, streets, and campi, squares, created intimate neighborhood communities within the larger city, where residents developed deep connections to their specific area. The tradition of carnival, with its elaborate masks and costumes, reflects Venice's historical openness to different cultures and identities. The masks allowed people to transcend social boundaries and experiment with different personas, creating a culture of creativity and transformation that continues to influence art and literature. Venice's unique geography created a culture of adaptation and innovation. Venetians learned to work with water rather than against it, developing techniques for building foundations in unstable lagoon conditions and creating architectural marvels that seem to float on the water's surface. Venice's story begins in the 5th century when mainland populations fled to the lagoon islands to escape barbarian invasions. These refugees gradually developed a unique form of government and a maritime culture that would dominate Mediterranean trade for centuries. The Venetian Republic, known as La Serenissima, the Most Serene, became one of the world's great maritime powers, controlling trade routes between Europe and Asia. The city's merchants brought back not just goods, but ideas, technologies, and artistic influences that enriched Venetian culture. During the Renaissance, Venice became a center of printing and publishing, spreading knowledge throughout Europe. The city's unique political system, with its elected doge and complex system of checks and balances, influenced democratic thought across the continent. St. Mark's Square, described by Napoleon as the drawing room of Europe, showcases Venice's unique blend of Byzantine, Islamic, and Western architectural styles. The square's perfect proportions and stunning buildings create a sense of theatrical grandeur that has inspired visitors for centuries. The Doge's Palace, with its pink and white facade and stunning interior, represents the height of Venetian political and artistic achievement. The palace's rooms, decorated with works by Tintoretto and Veronese, tell the story of Venice's golden age through art and architecture. The Rialto Bridge, spanning the Grand Canal at its narrowest point, has been the heart of Venetian commerce for over 400 years. The bridge's shops and constant activity create a vibrant atmosphere that captures the essence of Venice's mercantile spirit. The islands of Murano and Burano offer insights into Venice's artistic traditions. Murano's glass-making workshops continue techniques developed over centuries, while Burano's lace-making tradition and colorful houses create a fairy tale atmosphere that seems almost too beautiful to be real. Venice us that limitations can become sources of strength, that working with natural forces rather than against them leads to sustainable solutions, and that beauty and functionality can exist in perfect harmony. The city reminds us that some of humanity's greatest achievements come from adapting to challenging environments while maintaining our highest aspirations. Naples. Naples stretches along the Bay of Naples in southern Italy, with the brooding presence of Mount Vesuvius creating a dramatic backdrop that has both threatened and blessed the city throughout history. This location, where the Mediterranean climate creates perfect conditions for growing tomatoes, olives, and the ingredients that make Neapolitan cuisine legendary, has shaped both the city's character and its contributions to world culture. The city's position on the Tyrrhenian Sea made it a natural port and trading center, while the fertile volcanic soil around Vesuvius created agricultural abundance that supported dense populations and cultural development. The nearby islands of Capri and Ischia add to the region's natural beauty and have inspired artists and writers for centuries. Neapolitan culture embraces life with an intensity that can be overwhelming to outsiders, but represents a profound wisdom about what truly matters. The concept of vivere alla giornata, living day by day, isn't about lacking ambition, but about understanding that life's greatest treasures are found in daily experiences shared with family and friends. The city's musical tradition, from classical composers like Scarlatti to the popular songs that conquered the world, reflects Naples' emotional directness and passionate approach to life. The tradition of street musicians, family gatherings centered around food, and the importance of local neighborhoods create a culture where human connections take precedence over material concerns. Naples' approach to food as a form of love and communication created pizza as we know it today, but more importantly, it developed a philosophy of cuisine that emphasizes fresh ingredients, simple preparation, and the joy of sharing meals with others. Naples began as Neapolis, a Greek colony founded in the 8th century BC. The city's Greek heritage, combined with Roman, Byzantine, Norman, and Spanish influences, created a unique cultural synthesis that continues to influence its character today. During the Renaissance and Baroque periods, Naples became one of Europe's largest cities and a major center of art, music, and learning. The city's universities, theaters, and artistic workshops attracted talent from across Europe and created innovations that spread throughout the continent. The city's complex political history, including periods of independence and foreign rule, developed a culture of resilience and adaptation. Neapolitans learned to maintain their identity and traditions while incorporating influences from various rulers and cultures. Famous destinations, ancient wonders, and living traditions. The historic center of Naples, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, contains more churches and historical buildings per square kilometer than anywhere else in the world. Walking through these narrow streets is like traveling through 2,500 years of European history. The National Archaeological Museum houses treasures from Pompeii and Herculaneum, including frescoes, mosaics, and artifacts that provide intimate glimpses into daily life in ancient Rome. These collections remind us that the past isn't distant history, but lives on in the present. The Royal Palace of Caserta, built by the Bourbon kings, represents one of the largest palaces in the world and showcases the grandeur of 18th century European court life. The palace's gardens and fountains create a landscape of incredible beauty and sophistication. The nearby ruins of Pompeii and Herculaneum, preserved by the ash from Vesuvius, offer unparalleled insights into ancient Roman life. These archaeological sites remind us both of human vulnerability and the power of preservation to keep memories alive. Naples asks that passion and intensity aren't obstacles to happiness, but essential ingredients for a life fully lived. The city reminds us that true wealth lies in relationships, that simplicity often produces the most profound pleasures, and that maintaining our cultural identity while adapting to change is one of humanity's greatest challenges and achievements. Matera. Matera sits in the Basilicata region of southern Italy, where ancient limestone cliffs create a landscape that seems carved by time itself. The city's location on the edge of the Murgia Plateau, with its dramatic ravines and cave systems, provided natural protection for inhabitants over thousands of years while creating one of the world's most unique urban environments. The surrounding landscape, with its rolling hills, dotted with ancient olive trees and traditional dry stone walls, creates a sense of timelessness that has made Matera a favorite location for filmmakers seeking to capture biblical and ancient settings. The region's semi-arid climate and rocky terrain required inhabitants to develop ingenious solutions for water collection and storage. Matera's culture developed around the principle of living in harmony with the natural environment, creating solutions that modern sustainability experts are only beginning to understand. The city's inhabitants learned to carve homes, churches, and entire neighborhoods from the soft tufa stone, creating a form of architecture that required no external materials and provided natural insulation. The culture of the Sassi stone districts emphasizes community cooperation and resource sharing. Families lived in cave dwellings that were expanded and modified over generations, creating a form of organic architecture that grew with the needs of its inhabitants. This ancient wisdom about sustainable living, combined with strong family and community bonds, created a culture that maintained its traditions while adapting to changing circumstances. The city's recent recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and European Capital of Culture has brought new appreciation for these traditional values. Matera's history spans over 9,000 years, making it one of the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities. The earliest inhabitants carved their homes from the soft limestone, creating an urban environment that grew organically from the natural landscape. During the medieval period, Matera became an important religious center, with monks and hermits carving churches and monasteries from the rock. These rock churches contain frescoes and religious art that span centuries, creating a unique gallery of Christian art preserved in stone. The 20th century brought challenges, as the cave dwellings, while historically significant, lacked modern amenities. A massive relocation program in the 1950s moved most residents to modern housing, but recent decades have seen a renaissance as the city's unique architecture gained international recognition. The Sassi di Matera, the ancient stone districts, represent one of the world's most remarkable examples of human adaptation to natural environment. These cave dwellings, carved from limestone cliffs, create an urban landscape that seems to grow from the earth itself. The rock churches, scattered throughout the ravines around Matera, contain frescoes and religious art that span from the 8th to the 13th centuries. These hidden treasures demonstrate the city's importance as a center of religious and artistic life during the medieval period. The Casa Grotta di Vico Solitario offers visitors a glimpse into traditional life in the Sassi, with authentic furnishings and tools that show how families lived in these cave dwellings for centuries. The exhibit demonstrates the ingenuity and resourcefulness required to create comfortable homes from solid rock. The Tramontano Castle, built in the 16th century, overlooks the city and provides stunning views of the Sassi and surrounding countryside. The castle's architecture reflects the transition from medieval to Renaissance styles while maintaining defensive capabilities. Matera asks that true sustainability comes from understanding and working with natural systems rather than against them, that human ingenuity can create beauty and comfort even in challenging environments, and that preserving our cultural heritage while adapting to modern needs is not just possible but essential for future generations. Verona. Nestled in the heart of northern Italy's Veneto region, Verona sits like a precious stone at the foot of the Lecce Mountains, just 65 miles west of Venice. The city is embraced by the serpentine curves of the Adige River, which wraps around the historic center like a protective arm, creating a natural amphitheater that has sheltered this remarkable city for over 2 millennia. The geographical positioning of Verona is nothing short of strategic genius. Located at the crossroads between Central Europe and the Mediterranean, it became a natural hub for trade, culture, and conquest. The river valley provides fertile ground and natural protection, while the surrounding hills offer panoramic vistas that have inspired poets and lovers for centuries. This unique location has made Verona a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized not just for its individual monuments, but for the way the entire city represents an outstanding example of a fortified medieval town. The story of Verona begins with ancient tribes, possibly the Huguenots or Reti, who first settled this strategic location. But it was under Roman rule that Verona truly flourished, becoming a major center of trade and culture. The Romans left an indelible mark on the city, most notably the spectacular Arena di Verona, completed around 30 AD. This isn't just any amphitheater, It's the third largest in Italy, measuring 139 meters long and 110 meters wide, and in some ways, it's even more impressive than Rome's Colosseum, which was built decades later. What makes Verona's arena extraordinary is its exceptional state of preservation and the fact that it still serves its original purpose, entertaining crowds. Today, it hosts world-class opera performances, continuing a tradition that connects us directly to ancient Rome. Throughout the Middle Ages, Verona became a powerful city-state under the rule of the Scaliger family, who transformed it into one of the most important cities in northern Italy. The medieval period saw the construction of magnificent palaces, churches, and the famous Castel Vecchio, a fortress that now houses one of Italy's most important art collections. But perhaps no period has captured the world's imagination quite like the Renaissance association with Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. While the story is fictional, Verona has embraced its role as the city of star-crossed lovers, creating a tourism phenomenon that brings millions of visitors to see Juliet's house and its famous balcony. Let's walk through Verona's most captivating attractions, starting with the crown jewel, the Arena di Verona. Standing in the Piazza Bra, this ancient amphitheater is not just a monument to the past, but a living, breathing venue where the world's greatest opera singers perform under the stars. The acoustics are so perfect that even a whisper from the arena floor can be heard in the highest seats. Just a short walk away, we find ourselves in the medieval heart of the city at Piazza delle Erbe, once the Roman Forum and now a vibrant market square surrounded by frescoed buildings and elegant cafes. The square is dominated by the Lamberti Tower, where you can climb 368 steps for breathtaking panoramic views of the city and surrounding countryside. No visit to Verona would be complete without seeing Juliet's house, Casa di Giulietta, where the famous balcony scene supposedly took place. While the connection to Shakespeare's play is romantic fiction, the 13th century house creates an atmosphere that has made it one of the most photographed balconies in the world. The Castel Vecchio, built by the Scaliger family in the 14th century, represents one of the most important examples of Gothic military architecture in Europe. Today, it houses the Castel Vecchio Museum, featuring an extraordinary collection of medieval and Renaissance art, including works by Pisanello, Mantegna, and Veronese. Verona offers visitors a unique combination of Roman grandeur, medieval charm, and Renaissance elegance, all wrapped in the romantic atmosphere that has made it famous worldwide. From the ancient stones of the arena to the medieval towers and Renaissance palaces, every corner tells a story of love, power, and artistic achievement. The city's compact size makes it perfect for exploring on foot, while its rich cultural calendar ensures there's always something extraordinary happening. Whether you're an opera lover, a history enthusiast, or simply someone who appreciates beauty, Verona provides an unforgettable experience that connects you to over 2,000 years of human civilization. Lecce. Deep in the heel of Italy's boot, in the sun-drenched region of Puglia, lies Lecce, a city that will completely change your perception of southern Italy. Situated in the heart of the Salento Peninsula, Lecce is positioned between the Adriatic and Ionian Seas, creating a unique microclimate that has blessed this region with olive groves, vineyards, and that distinctive Mediterranean light that makes everything look like a Renaissance painting. The geography of Lecce is characterized by the famous Pietra leccese, the local limestone that gives the city its distinctive golden honey color. This soft, workable stone has been the secret ingredient in Lecce's architectural revolution, allowing craftsmen to create incredibly detailed Baroque facades that seem to flow like fabric rather than stone. The surrounding countryside, dotted with ancient olive trees and traditional masserie, fortified farmhouses, provides a stunning backdrop that speaks to centuries of agricultural tradition. Lecce's cultural identity was forged through waves of Greek, Roman, Byzantine, Norman, and Spanish influences. But it was during the Spanish rule in the 16th and 17th centuries that the city underwent its most dramatic transformation. This period, known as the Lecce Baroque, created an architectural style so distinctive that it's recognized as unique in the world. The cultural heritage of Lecce isn't just about architecture, it's about a way of life that has persisted for centuries. The city maintains a strong connection to its Greek past. This region was once part of Magna Graecia, visible in local dialect, traditions, and even cuisine. The annual La Notte della Taranta festival celebrates the region's folk music tradition, while the European Film Festival brings international culture to this historic setting. Our journey through Lecce begins at the magnificent Basilica di Santa Croce, the undisputed masterpiece of Lecce Baroque architecture. The facade is a symphony in stone, with every inch covered in intricate carvings of cherubs, animals, plants, and mythological figures. The level of detail is so extraordinary that you can spend hours discovering new elements in the decoration. The work of multiple generations of craftsmen, this church represents the pinnacle of local artistic achievement. Adjacent to Santa Croce stands the Palazzo dei Celestini, now the provincial government headquarters, which demonstrates how Baroque architecture adapted to civic purposes. The contrast between the sacred and secular buildings shows the versatility of the local architectural style. The Duomo, Cathedral of Lecce, presents a different face of Baroque architecture, more restrained, but no less impressive. The bell tower, rising 68 meters above the city, offers spectacular views across the Salento Peninsula. The Cathedral Square, with its Baroque Archbishop's Palace and Seminary, creates one of the most harmonious architectural ensembles in southern Italy. But Lecce's charm isn't limited to its major monuments. The city is a living museum, where every street corner reveals new architectural treasures. The four historic gates, Porta Rudiae, Porta Napoli, Porta San Biagio, and Porta San Martino, mark the boundaries of the old city and provide perfect examples of how Baroque decoration was applied to functional architecture. For a unique underground experience, visit the Museo Faggiano, where a simple home renovation in 1991 revealed over 2,000 years of continuous habitation. Walking through its rooms, you'll discover ancient wells, cisterns, crypts, and traces of a Franciscan convent, a journey through time that shows how Lecce has been continuously inhabited since ancient times. The Chiesa di San Matteo showcases a different aspect of Baroque architecture with its unique curved facade, while the Chiesa di Santa Chiara demonstrates how the Baroque style adapted to different religious orders and their specific needs. Lecce represents one of Europe's most cohesive and spectacular examples of Baroque architecture, where an entire city centre was transformed into a masterpiece of decorative art. The use of local pietra leccese allowed craftsmen to create architectural details impossible in other materials, resulting in a unique urban landscape that has no equal anywhere in the world. The city's walkable historic centre, vibrant cultural life, and authentic southern Italian atmosphere make it a destination that rewards both casual visitors and serious students of architecture and history. Here, you don't just see Baroque art, you live within it, surrounded by the golden stone that has made Lecce one of Italy's most beautiful and photogenic cities. Palermo. Welcome to Palermo, the capital of Sicily, and quite possibly the most conquered city in human history. Positioned at the northwestern tip of Sicily, Palermo sits on a natural bay, protected by the imposing Monte Pellegrino, creating a natural harbor that has attracted conquerors, traders, and travelers for over 2,700 years. This strategic location at the crossroads of Europe and Africa, at the center of the Mediterranean, has made Palermo a prize coveted by Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, Normans, and Spanish rulers. The city's geography is dramatic and diverse, from the golden beaches of the Tyrrhenian Sea to the rugged mountains that protect the city from the interior. The Conca d'Oro, golden shell, the fertile plain that surrounds Palermo, has been famous since ancient times for its citrus groves and agricultural wealth. This natural amphitheater, with the sea on one side and mountains on the other, creates a unique microclimate that has made Palermo one of the most livable cities in the Mediterranean. Palermo's cultural identity is unlike anywhere else in the world. It's a living testament to the peaceful coexistence of different civilizations. Founded by the Phoenicians in the 8th century BCE as Ziz, meaning flower, the city became a Carthaginian stronghold before falling to the Romans in 254 BCE. But it was during the Arab period, 831 to 1072 CE, that Palermo experienced its first golden age. Under Arab rule, Palermo became one of the largest and most prosperous cities in the Mediterranean, renowned for its gardens, palaces, and scholarship. The Arabs introduced new agricultural techniques, architectural styles, and cultural practices that still influence the city today. You can taste this influence in the local cuisine, see it in the architectural details, and hear it in the Sicilian dialect. The Norman conquest in 1072 didn't destroy this Islamic heritage. Instead, it created something entirely new. The Norman kings, particularly Roger II, embraced the multicultural nature of their kingdom, creating a unique synthesis of Arab, Byzantine, and Western European cultures. This period produced some of the most extraordinary monuments in the world, where Islamic geometric patterns coexist with Byzantine mosaics and Norman architectural elements. Our exploration of Palermo begins with the Palazzo dei Normanni, Norman Palace, one of the most important examples of Norman architecture in Sicily. But it's the Cappella Palatina, Palatine Chapel, inside the palace that truly takes your breath away. This 12th century chapel represents the perfect synthesis of Norman, Arab, and Byzantine art. With its stunning Islamic-style wooden ceiling, Byzantine mosaics, and Norman architectural structure, The play of light through the ancient windows illuminates gold mosaics that have remained virtually unchanged for nearly 900 years. The Palermo Cathedral presents a different face of the city's multicultural heritage. Built on the site of an ancient mosque, the cathedral showcases architectural elements from Norman, Arab, Gothic, and Baroque periods. The royal tombs inside contain the remains of Norman and Swabian rulers, including the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, making it a pilgrimage site for students of medieval history. The Quattro Canti, four corners, represents the heart of Baroque Palermo, where two main streets intersect to create a theatrical urban space. Each corner features an elaborate Baroque facade, with fountains, statues, and architectural details that create a sense of being inside a giant outdoor theater. This 17th-century urban planning masterpiece demonstrates how Baroque architecture could transform entire city quarters. The Matera Church, Santa Maria dell'Ammiraglio, showcases some of the finest Byzantine mosaics outside of Constantinople, while the nearby San Cataldo, with its distinctive red domes, represents pure Norman architecture. These churches, standing side by side, perfectly demonstrate Palermo's ability to preserve different architectural traditions within the same urban space. Palermo offers visitors something impossible to find anywhere else, a living example of how different civilizations can coexist and create something entirely new. The city's architecture, cuisine, language, and culture represent a unique synthesis that has been developing for over 2,700 years. From the golden mosaics of the Cappella Palatina to the bustling markets that echo with centuries of commerce, Palermo provides an experience that connects you to the entire sweep of Mediterranean civilization. The city's raw energy, combined with its incredible artistic heritage, makes it a destination that challenges preconceptions and rewards the curious traveler with discoveries that simply cannot be found anywhere else in the world. As our journey through these 7 magnificent Italian cities comes to an end, we've discovered that each destination offers not just beautiful sights, but profound lessons about the human experience. From Rome's eternal wisdom about building lasting legacies, to Florence's reminder that supporting creativity enriches us all, from Bologna's perfect blend of learning and living, to Milan's demonstration that style and substance can work together. The real magic of travel isn't just in seeing new places, but in discovering how different cultures have solved similar human challenges. Italy's cities show us that there are many ways to live well, many approaches to creating community, and many paths to finding meaning in our daily lives. So here's my question for you. Which of these 10 cities resonated most deeply with your own journey through life? Are you drawn to Rome's eternal ambitions, Florence's artistic dreams, Bologna's balance of learning and pleasure, Milan's stylish efficiency, Venice's adaptive creativity, Naples' passionate intensity, or Matera's sustainable wisdom? Whether you're planning your first trip to Italy or returning to deepen your understanding of these incredible places, remember that the most important journey is the one that helps you grow as a person. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible destinations and travel insights. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest adventures, and share your own Italian experiences in the comments below. Until next time.